So these are pumpkins that Dan just threw outside in the dirt and didn't bury them, we didn't water them, and they started growing up out of nowhere. And they have flowers, and I put some compost about a month ago and started watering them. And then Dan noticed that we got a little pumpkin growing there. They're a little pokey now. The leaves used to be soft, but they're kind of pokey now. But here is a pumpkin growing, ouch, right here. And then we have another little one starting to grow right in there. So it's interesting because these actually grow underneath the flower. And I didn't know that. I'm used to things growing out from the flower, but they grow behind them. So that's fun. And the rest of the area we have here are just a bunch of fun plants. So these are the only ones here that'll grow fruit. We've got pumpkins here. And then over here, we have our potatoes growing amazingly in a grow bag here. We actually just ordered this grow bag online, and I saved some potatoes that we got from Costco and let them grow to seed. So pretty much when they have those sprouts and they grow out, and you just cut them separate from the sprouts and you put them in some dirt and start watering them, and they start growing all these awesome leaves. And we just hilled these potatoes, which just means that we added more dirt. Definitely needed it because some of the roots were starting to show, and I've heard it just gives you a higher yield of potatoes, but this thing is doing amazing. And then over here we have some other things going on. We're in a townhome, so we're doing a lot of container gardening, and there's some weeds growing in here, which as they grow I'm just going to be taking them out. I'll probably end up mulching. At first I wasn't going to. I'm not really a fan of wood mulch because I know that attracts some ants, but I think I'm gonna do hay, like hay straw mulch. But this right here is actually garlic, and this is garlic from Costco as well that I just let sprout. And you take one clove and you just put it in the dirt, and they just grow crazy. This and the potatoes I started growing about, you say excuse me. When you're trying to get behind someone, you say excuse me. That was my little one going by. But you just put them in the dirt and they'll grow an entire bulb, and you can just keep doing that. So I'm excited to be starting this. Back here were some seeds that I thought were duds. I had started them in some seed trays and like some egg carton seed trays I just do, and thought they were duds, but we've just been kind of watering these and all this sprouted up. Now I think these are tomatoes. They look a lot like my tomato sprouts. I have this kind of purple stem that goes into green and it's kind of fuzzy. This I believe is spinach. It looks just like my other spinach seedlings. So we have that growing, and then here's our Troy boy. Back over here, I'll show you guys this is a lily we're trying to grow here. Dan's been helping me with this, but this was my little seed start. So I had started off in little egg cartons, and I already transplanted the tomatoes and what was I growing? Tomatoes and the squash, that's what I was growing. And these are now, they took a little longer. So this row here is all Thai basil, and this row here is all English lavender. And this one came up a couple weeks ago, and you can kind of see has two little true leaves coming up. That third and fourth leaf, that's the true leaves. And right here, finally our lavender has a couple sprouts, so that's exciting. Dan's also working on propagating some mint, so that's fun. Gosh, so beautiful. The weather has been great. all of our plants are full bloom right now. Stuff is actually starting to grow. It's fun. And then over here, I have some spinach in containers. And I had planted or transplanted a lot of spinach into a few containers. That one there, and there's one other one further down. And only a handful survived. So I actually just replanted some seedlings not too long ago. And we got sprout coming up here. There should be another one coming up somewhere in this area and another one somewhere over here. But like these little things, I'm pretty sure it's just a weed or from, you know, all these flowers dropping in from the tree nearby, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm gonna wait before I pull that. And same with these little things over here, because this, that probably is a weed, but this kind of looks like a spinach probably. You trying to sit down? Go ahead. And then these are squash seedlings. They're doing amazing. I think it's so interesting because these came up so strong. They were just solid. Most of the seedlings I start are tiny, you know, like spinach or tomatoes, but these just came up so big and solid, and they just look like they can handle a lot. And spraying water at me. And it's interesting because the third leaf, which is the first true leaf, usually plants, or at least the couple I've done so far, seem to produce 2 more leaves at the same time. But this one is growing its third leaf, and then it's starting to produce a 4th leaf. And you can see the total difference on the third leaf. Since it's the first true leaf, it looks totally different from these first 2 little seedling leaves. And it's soft and kind of fuzzy, which reminds me of the pumpkin leaves when they were young, so they'll probably end up, when they're bigger, being a little prickly, kind of like the pumpkin leaves. So not too excited about that, but at the same time it protects them. If you see this white kind of dust on there, that's actually some, I'll probably say it wrong, but like diatomaceous earth, DE. I had read that repels bugs and is just kind of a good preventative measure. And as you can see, I already had a little pest coming for our spinach here, which little baby spinach leaves are doing good. So these are all of our squash plants. I have 7. And if you see the rocks here in the garden bed, we are going to put some other things. I'm probably going to put like a basil, a marigold, a basil, another basil. We'll be moving this plant and putting a couple lavender plants. That'll be more tomato plants. This is a few bell pepper seedlings I've had since last spring actually, and it's funny because these were kind of stunted at growth, so we brought them outside instead of on the patio. So I think them getting more sunlight is helping the growth, and I fertilized them, so this one's starting to take off. These ones are still kind of tiny, and these other ones had died off, so I'll have to plant something there again. This is one of our tomato plants here we actually got from the farmer's market, and I'm excited for this one a lot because this is Black Crim, and it's like another hybrid from Cherokee Purple, and so I'm excited to see that kind of fun purplish black and green tomato. This is just bamboo sticks, and I built kind of a little makeshift cage. I need to tie these plant ties better though, because as you see they're coming loose, so I will end up fixing that. Over here on the other side of the garden bed, well, as you can see, there's some, you know, fabric on the sides, and that's actually weed fabric. We put it down because we have a holly bush nearby, and we don't want the holly bush roots to come in here and take any nutrients or just root in the garden bed at all. It also prevents some pests, so that's good. And it's also more natural than putting like a plastic down. But these over here are our tomato seedlings. You can see they're getting their couple true leaves. Oh, that has a handful, so that's doing great. I was a little concerned when I transplanted these because they're so tiny. Oh, what are you doing there, buddy? There's not room for both of us here. But they're actually doing, these tomato seeds are doing really good. They were only 2 leaves at first, but as you see, they're growing lots more leaves, so they're doing great. And we have some more spinach up here in this container. I think these are some, weeds, but I'm gonna wait and find out. But that's a spinach sprout that came up. This, I don't think that is, but it might be. This one's been doing pretty good. And this one, I'm a little worried. It was doing good, but it looks like it's just really flimsy. I'm not sure if it's gonna survive. The stem looks a little extra flimsy, so we've been watching that. As you see, it's partial shade all over here. This trellis, we're actually gonna have the squash plants grow up, so that'll be really cool to see. But we'll see. We'll probably move some more things around, but we're kind of just moving stuff around as we go and figuring out what we can do with the space that we have and what looks nice to us and is also functional. And we got some peppers here. These are serrano peppers. We got these from the farmer's market as well. And it had the flower buds somewhere. I think it is this little thing right here. But it's not a flower anymore. So I'm wondering if it's gonna turn into an actual pepper. I don't know, we will see, because I'm excited to see some fruit on stuff. The weather has been great. Over here we have another little trellis we have to fix up some, because it's kind of in pieces. So we're going to fix that up like we did the other ones. We just found these actually. Someone was throwing it out, and we like to repurpose stuff. Over here we have our celebrity tomato plant, and it's looking amazing. It's actually looking a lot better than the black creme over there. I sprinkled some DE on all of these, and so hopefully that helps. But I don't know, little stuff kind of comes up like this, and I don't think it's from the sun. It kind of looks like sun damage, but I don't think it's from the sun because there's really only partial sun over here. So we will see what happens with that.
You're okay, just get up.
Hop on up. So that's pretty much what we're working on so far, and I will record more as it grows. But this is pretty much kind of the second beginning stage. I took a picture of our little tiny seedlings, but we've started more and we transplanted, so this is just it continuing.